tonight on Friday Night Football. The South Queensland Crushers and the Parramatta Eels open their bids on season 96.
Look at him stretch out, the big fella.
Oh, gee, that's a heavy tackle there.
After snapping up those big off-season signings, it's now show and tell time for the new-look Eels.
Lawler's on his way. Castle won't catch him. And Lawler, he dives in to score the first try of the game.
They survived the initiation period, and this year the Crushers are set to mix it with the heavyweights of the game.
Back the open side, Gilmeister. Cut out ball for Cook. Oh, that's an easy try for the Crushers.
Two of Rugby League's big improvers, ready to rock Suncorp Stadium tonight on Wide World of Sports.
What a difference a week makes. Last weekend in round 1 of the Optus Cup, only 4 games completed following a multitude of forfeits. This week, all clubs return to the ARL fold. So for round 2, a full complement of 10 games, kicking off here tonight at the Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane for the clash between the South Queensland Crushers and the Parramatta Eels. During the off-season, both clubs recruited very heavily. With that comes high expectations. And Paul Wharton, especially Parramatta, they spent a lot of money. Fans will be demanding results early on. What do you make of the new-look side?
Well, Pete, you look at the team, it's almost a who's who of Australian Rugby League, a magnificent-looking football side. They've done nothing in the trials so far, absolutely zilch, but players like Jason Smith at 5'8", I find that a very interesting selection. If you remember, we tried him at 5'8" for the Queensland side last year. He was an enormous success, and I expect him to be the same at club level tonight. Players like Jim Dymock, for instance, he should have a big game. But, Pete, what do you think of the side? What, they're going to produce or what?
Well, let's hope so. On paper, you know, it looks like a very good blend of players. Ritson there to take the hard yards. I think the biggest attraction is the options on either side with Jim Dymock and Jason Smith. But they're coming up against a Crushers outfit that have bought very well also. Nigel Gaffey is an interesting customer coming up in the lock forward position. A little bit of class for them as well.
They've got a real good side on paper as well, and 5 former East players in their team, including, as said, Gaffey, Mark Prothero, Jason Hudson comes in on the wing. So a good-looking side. Lots of crowd support for them here tonight in view of the fact the Broncos have been, in a bit of trouble up here, so expecting a big crowd. I think they'll be very hard to beat, well led, of course, by my old mate Trevor Gilmeister, and it'll be a great game. Well,
it's a beautiful night here in Brisbane for Rugby League, and as happens every year, it's shown that early points are vital. You must get away with the leaders early on in the competition, and to see who does get off in the right fashion here at Suncorp Stadium, we'll take a break now and be back with Ray Warren for the clash between the Crushers and the Eels.
And welcome back to Suncorp Stadium. Good evening, everybody, as Trevor Gilmeister leads the South Queensland Crushers out for the first time on a Friday night at Suncorp Stadium. And they're welcomed by the fireworks and a reasonable crowd. And here is their team card for tonight. Danny Peacock, Jason Hudson. Chris McKenna, Graham Mackay, the centres. Lawson on the other wing. Bowen and Pizzette are the halves. Hearn, Teevan, O'Brien, Gilmeister, Prothero and Gaffey. Bob Linder, the coach, and of course Trevor Gilmeister is their captain, and 5 of these players formerly with the Eastern Suburbs or Sydney City Roosters. Danny Peacock is in behind that smoke cloud, and of course Danny Peacock formerly with Western Suburbs and the Gold Coast. And here are the Eels now, about to go on show with the multi-million-dollar look, and Gary Freeman is at the helm. Some big names in here. Jim Dymock, Clive Churchill medalist in the grand final last year. Jason Smith and Dean Pay. Let's have a look at their full list. It's Blackett at fullback, Wire and Davey on the wings, McCracken, Barnes the centres, Smith, Freeman, Johnston, Raper, Ritson, King, Pay, and of course Jim Dymock at the back of the scrum. Ron Hilditch is the coach. And there's the big frame of Adam Ritson, former Shark. And talking of Cronulla, will be there tomorrow night. Let's go to the sidelines. Here's Gary Belcher. Good evening.
G'day, Ray. It's a great night for rugby league down here at the ground level. The ground's in beautiful condition. A light southerly breeze blowing, and it's picking up by the minute. I think it's going to favour the Crushers, certainly in the first half. I've just been in their dressing room, and the Crushers, particularly the new boys, are very fired up to show the Queensland fans that they can play footy. I think it's going to be a good one, Ray.
Tell you what, we better get away from you. You'll catch fire in a moment. All right, let's now go to the Crushers Choir, representative of the Queensland Conservatorium of Music. Here it is, the anthem.
Australians, all their
side from the Queensland Conservatorium of Music. They've been here for all the Crushers home games and affectionately known as the Crushers Choir. So Friday night in Brisbane, and coming to you live as Blackett prepares for the kick-off. Eddie Ward is the man in charge. Beautiful weather up and down the eastern seaboard, and that prevails here in Brisbane tonight. Welcome now, and I hope you enjoy it. The Eels kicking off the boot of Blackett, the fullback. And so the Crushers bring it back, and there's the former Bear, Tony Hearn. Hearn brought the ball back with great gusto, and Dymock wrapped him up. Half a shot at a high tackle from Johnston. It missed the mark, and just as well that it did. Here's Gilmeister now. Good run and a good tackle. Very big hit there by, it was Chris King in the main. Jason Smith came over the top, and that's Prothero, one of the eastern suburbs players that I mentioned at the top. Teven giving it up for Hearn. He wants a smell of it, doesn't he? Twice in the first set of 6. Teven one more time. Back for the clear. Mackay, the centre tonight. He puts it down the ground. Not a good kick, but it's done the job. Lollies around there for Davey, I think it is, over there for Parramatta. Formerly with Canterbury Bankstown, and inside the 10, Gilmeister asks the question of Eddie Ward. Look at it again. Players in front of the kicker have got to stay 10 metres away.
Well, Graham Mackay, who kicked the football, he got down there fairly quickly. He believes that he ran his players onside, and he did. I thought they stayed outside the 10 metres before that man did put them onside.
So the first penalty of the game goes with the Parramatta Eels, sponsored Parramatta Chrysler Jeep. Now 35 metres away from the Crushers line. It's a combination of blue and gold really on both sides here. It's a dark blue though for the Crushers, and a royal blue for the Parramatta Eels as Dymock centres the ball, and he's just outside the 20-metre line, and Aaron Raper goes into dummy half, and away it goes to Jason Smith. Looks to be nice and trim, Jason, as Gary Freeman launches an attacking raid. He ran straight at Gilmeister, and Gilmeister puts him away on 5. Raper gets a kick in. The ball, oh, that was a great clean-up by the Crushers, number 5, Scott Lawson.
Close call there. Gary Freeman could have popped a short ball on the outside. His number 12, Dean Pay. A real opportunity. Aaron Raper getting it away on the last. As Ray points out, it's a great clean-up there from Lawson.
So that's where they are, 15 metres out from their own line, the Crushers. They've been there since the start, and using the frame of people like Tony Hearn to ruck it out. That was a good run out of ruck half by Craig Teven. Now they go back to the right, and Mackay comes in to put in the kick. And it's with Blackett now as he comes away from the 30-metre line. He's running across the park, looking to link up. Davey was on his outside. He takes the tackle and will play it 7 metres on his own side of the halfway. Freeman off for Dymock. Dymock goes back in, looking for the markers to go to sleep. They're right on the halfway line as Raper looks for Johnston, the big man in the headgear. Peter Johnston started with Parramatta, went to South and Illawarra. Now he's back home. Freeman now crosses the 40-metre line, then angles. Smith is with it now, and he is put to ground eventually by Prothero with the help of Hearn and Pezzett as it goes across now. It's with Dymock. He holds it back, and then it lands on the chest out there of Barnes. Barnes infield for Ritson. Ritson can't take it, and away they come with Danny Peacock, and Chris King is there to close him down.
A great chance there for Parramatta as they spun the ball wide. There was some space, but in the end, a nice tackle from Graham Mackay put some pressure on the man who was passing the football. And it all broke down for the Eels.
No score on the board. The South Queensland Crushers have only been outside their own territory for fleeting seconds. As Hearn takes it up for his 4th hit up of the game. That tackle might have stung him, I think. Chris King was the tackler. Nothing foul in the tackle as they go across, and clean break. Prothero, he's a former winger. He's got toe. Turns it inside, touched by Parramatta. That'll be a penalty. It is to the Crushers. 21 metres out, 10 metres in from touch.
Some good football by the Crushers though. Prothero, former winger, now playing in the second row, has done for the last couple of years, showed some great speed to get through the gap. And Parramatta lucky to get out of this, let me tell you.
Real mix-up in their outside defence for the Eels. Centres, he had no idea who was getting the football. In the end, it was Prothero scouting out wide, as he likes to do. Dean Pay has just been spoken to by the referee as Graham Mackay elects to kick for goal. This game's opened up in very good fashion, some physical work. Tony Hearn's been very involved. He's had a tremendous clash with Chris King. There's King going low, Dean Pay over the top. And there's the mix-up, the bad miss from Jason Smith. Keith Blackett got the hand to it. Russell Wye really had to play at the football. He might give away 2 points, but it could have very easily been 6.
It was funny for Prothero because I thought he actually got around Blackett, and he must have felt he didn't have the pace to go on with it.
So Graham Mackay, who forms a very big centre combination tonight with the former Bronco Chris McKenna. So here he is, and an acute kick at goal, leaving the boot and just wide. And come back with the Crushers getting possession back. Replay indicated there was some foul play in that tackle on Tony Hearn. My eyes were on Chris King, but it was Dean Pay over the top. So the drop kick now sees John Jones, the former Manly player, bringing it back. He's on for Tony Hearn. You would have seen that exchange made, and now this is the number 10, Clinton O'Brien, who plays it on the 40-metre line. No score on the board as Gaffney goes for more petrol and gets it to the 30-metre line. From Teven across, and then Pezzett. His pass was forward, it was allowed to go, and Jones will play it now. 25 metres out. Teven into the hands of Pezzett again. He puts on a little skip, and away he goes. Oh, how easy. Well, it was almost like they were directing traffic for this kid. Troy Pezzett.
Looks like he's got a future. Well acquainted with Steve Roach. I think he stayed with Locker's family when first coming down, and see how easy it was here as he takes it first pass. He steps back. If we freeze play, look at the hole there. This is Chris King. He was on the other side of the ruck. As play continues, when you're close to the ruck, you've got to have your front rowers and your second rowers in tight. Keith Blackett had no chance of taking the little halfback, but much too wide in defence, especially at this end of the field.
Yeah, too big a hole and too slow to move up. And Pezzett, well, he's shown everyone in the rugby league world that he can play a beautiful step there, big right foot step. And I know that against me in the trial about a month ago, he absolutely carved up the Eagles, and he's done the same here to the Eels in the opening minutes of this Friday night game.
Well, he chose very wisely. His channel was going to be to run at Adam Ritson and step back into a gap that was opened up or left open, and Chris King was grabbing at mid-air, trying to cover the gap left by, I guess, in the main, Adam Ritson.
There was no chance, Chris King. They needed to be closer to the ruck on the other side. That was Ritson.
Graham Mackay then from right in front raises the flags. He had a permanent job as goal kicker once, and now he's got it back. 6-0 Friday night football. Corp Stadium. This is the second tackle on the first set of 6 since the kickoff. So you've missed 2 tackles as we come to you live tonight from Brisbane as Gilmeister plays it on 3. The try scorer put his hands to it before giving it to Gaffey. And Nigel Gaffey now is 35 metres away from the line. There's an injured player, Chris King, for Parramatta as Graham Mackay puts in a big kick. That's the first one he's really struck sweetly. And Davey now comes away off his 30-metre line, but he's taken down by the number 22. And that is Jason Hudson. Now, Nathan Barnes, big off-season buy from Newcastle. Davey is put away. They're on the 40-metre line, 6 points to 0. And really, they spent very little time in Parramatta's territory. So for the rare visit they made down there, they came up with a rich reward, the Crushers. Freeman's pass goes to ground. And this is the halfback with it one more time. Pezzett. Touch judge goes in. This will be a report on Jarrod McCracken.
It looked like a touch of foul play from McCracken. Maybe a stray elbow went in here. Was he disappointed at dropping the football? And as he goes down.
Yeah, cheap shot there from Jarrod McCracken. Not needed. I think it was frustration with the fact that he came up with the mistake. Gary Freeman looking to go across field, getting inside runners. At times he's better off just letting the ball go. A very ordinary set of 6 there from the Eels with the mistake at the end of it. A lot of one-out stuff. And that's been something that's plagued their play for quite a few years now.
I was going to make mention that tomorrow night, Shark Park venue for Cronulla and St George. We'll have that for you. Tomorrow night, Sydney time, 10 to 11 to air. As John Jones now takes it forward. About 32 metres out from the Parramatta line. Craig Teevan is converted to the number 9 jumper. Played there by Nigel Gaffey. He's looking to get back his rugby league stature. Is destined to be anything, Nigel. Now Graham Mackay, a chip and a chase. He turns Davey around on the boot for Hudson. That's a try. No, it's not. No, he's ruled it over the sideline. In touch, in goal. Back to the 20 for the restart. I thought he'd made it, Hudson.
Yeah, so did I. Late call for the touchy, I felt. Hudson goes to the ball now. Does he force it? That's a try.
I tend to think it was a try.
And I've got to tell you, the touch judge hesitated before waving it away.
Johnston tries to hammer it away from the 30-metre line. I think the Crushers have been denied a fair try. Raper takes a jolting tackle. Good stuff, that from McKenna. Freeman now. Away they go for Smith, and he puts it down. Oh, what a shame. If you're a Parramatta supporter or a Jason Smith admirer, this is embarrassing.
There's plenty of pressure on Parramatta tonight. As we pointed out at the beginning of the show, the expectations are very high for them. Jason Smith there, you won't see another mistake like that all season. Player of his class and ability. The Crushers win this scrum. On the right-hand side, Mackay coming in, the big step. Did beat Nathan Barnes. He's tackled 40 metres out, 12 in from touch.
So the Crushers, here they come again. They've been very dangerous when they've been in Parramatta territory. Here's Gaffey. Did he try to put a flick pass inside for the 5/8 Bowen, or did he lose control of the ball? Gary Belcher's on the sidelines.
Very hard to see what happened there with Gaffey. I don't want to cover up for Jason Smith's mistake, but he was signaling to the trainer for a few minutes trying to get attention. Whether he's injured or not, I'm not sure.
Eddie Ward has ruled the ball has gone forward here. Dymock was involved in the 13, and it seemed to be a deflection off a Parramatta player that Eddie Ward is deemed to go forward. Watch it here. I guess he's right. John Jones comes off. Tony Hearn, I guess, has gone back out there in that pack. Eddie Ward tells Parramatta to get back the 5. Graham Mackay comes up at 5/8. He's been involved, Graham Mackay, hasn't he?
They're all fired up there. The Crushers players all running hard, a lot of purpose.
This is Prothero, who made a clean break that almost led to a try. Hearn is back on. Real workhorse, Tony Hearn. Played Origin football. Now, infield pass and Gilmeister. Look to unload for Peacock. Now, a knock-on has been ordered.
Very good defence here from Aaron Raper. And he did well to get out of the play-the-ball area. Otherwise, the referee would have ruled against him. Pushes away. Crushers ruled to have knocked on in the play-the-ball, so a little bit of a let-off there. They've been under pressure, the Eels now. Need a good set of 6 with a kick at the end. A little bit of momentum back in their play.
Nathan Barnes. That is Dean Pay now. In the second row, and a penalty goes to Parramatta. Against the Crushers' defence. Their tackle on Pay. Taken to ground, and a third player came in, the number 10. Clinton O'Brien, and Eddie Wood felt that he wasn't necessary, so he gave the penalty. 42 metres out from the Crushers' line then. Parramatta. Scoreline is not that devastating, but the manner in which they scored the try could be described as just that. Ritson with a struggling run. 20 metres out, he comes up without the football, and Parramatta get the penalty. So it's been raked out from Adam Ritson, and Gary Freeman's calling Keith Blackett up to take the kick at goal.
I've got an enormous rap on Adam Ritson. I think it could be anything in this game. Great youngster. His charges tonight have been as good as anybody's on the paddock. Drops the shoulder straight over one, keeps the legs pumping. That's the beauty of the big man. He's very agile, can keep the legs going, and always manages to pick up that extra 5 or 6 metres. What he needs is people off both shoulders.
Six points to 0. Pezzett got the try for the Crushers. And Mackay, 2 shots at goal for the one success. And that try for Troy Pezzett came at the 7th minute. Now Blackett to narrow the gap, and he's got it. So 6 points to 2. The Crushers over the Eels. Back in a moment. Tackle of Parramatta's set of 6. And through the hands of the Canterbury connection, and Jason Smith puts it down again.
So you wrapped him before this game too, Fatty.
Yeah,
What's happened?
Listen,
What's
you
happened?
said 5 minutes ago he'll never do that again in his life.
Until when? Oh, come on.
Well, it's
mate.
going to cost them, isn't it? Mistakes in their own half like that, simple ones. You know, this Crushers outfit, they look very sharp tonight, and they might make Parramatta pay.
Let's take a comment again from Gary Belcher on the sidelines.
Well, it might point something there that which players are under the most pressure on the field. Maybe the big gun signings from Canterbury, who've certainly on the most money out there, feel they have to perform already. We've seen mistakes from McCracken and Smith and Dymock.
This is a high tackle. It'll be on Keith Blackett, I think.
He could be in some trouble here. Eddie Ward was getting in there very quickly. Had the finger out pointed.
McCracken's in the middle of it, but I'm sure it's Keith Blackett's arm. And Ward has called his touch judge in.
He's called. He's cracking out. I
He's
thought
got the wrong bloke.
No, for sure. He's quite a clumsy move from the Crushers, which took a long time coming.
It's been placed on report by the referee, Eddie Ward, but I'm in little doubt that he's got the wrong man. It was the fullback, Keith Blackett. There it is there. No way knowing that it was McCracken.
Here it is from another angle, and it's Blackett that goes around the throat area. So Eddie Ward, even with the help of his touch judge, has still got the wrong fellow, even though McCracken became involved in the aftermath. Kenzie has gone on for Parramatta to take the place of Ritson, and Blackett is just staying...
He's just staying right out of the way.
Very smart move.
He said, "I'll just let Jarrod handle this."
He's got a different number. I don't look like him. I haven't got me yet. But in looking at the tackle, it was high, but it was clumsy more than malicious. So I don't think it was that bad.
Anyway, McCracken's been blamed for having his hand in the candy shop, but Blackett's got the lollies. Here's Big Mackay now from right in front, 35 metres out. Looks okay, doesn't it? A goal. So 8 points to 2. 8 points to 2. The South Queensland Crushers over Parramatta. 19 minutes. 19 gone. And you see on footy tab, the Crushers got 9.5 start in Pick the Winners.
One of the features of their play tonight, the Crushers, is the speed of the play the ball. A lot of emphasis put on that by the team. Obviously, Bob Lindner realised how important that is to get the momentum going. If you have a look at this next set of 6 from the Crushers and compare it to the Eels play the ball, there is a marked difference.
There's one of the differences. Tony Hearn, he's the rock. Built a nice foundation off his performance. Looking for a quick play the ball. They drag. Oh, gee, that was forward short. Centre man hasn't been getting a great deal of help from the touch judges in relation to forward passes, and this is the same culprit again, Troy Pezzett. 32 metres out then from the Crushers line. They lead 8 points to 2. A quarter of the game is gone. As Jason Smith gets the ball in his hands and works it off to Blackett and then for McCracken. Can the Eels put something together? Dymock allowed to run with the arms free and then slammed into the ground on the 20-metre line. Raper off on the blind side for Freeman to combine with King. And a penalty goes against the Crushers inside the 10 on that blind side. And the number 12, Prothero, was the offender. No shot for goal, and Johnston is used as a ramrod. That's the try line in front of him. Raper goes back to the blind. A second man play, Dymock. He gets it away. Oh, beautiful stuff. And the number 2 goes in, Russell Wire. Russell Wire scores. A second man play back on the blind side.
Isn't it great to see a planned move that comes off? You train for these all week. Very rarely they come off, but they've executed it beautifully. The second man play from Aaron Raper, nearly an intercept. As we freeze play there, you can see that the wingers had to come in. These two players have come through. They've attracted the defence and allowed the number 2, Russell Wire, a free run to the line. Beautiful planned move. The pass from Aaron Raper, it was a timely one from dummy half.
And a great decision, I felt, from Gary Freeman, because he could have taken a kick for goal, maybe looked for the 2 points, but it was the first chance they've had in the match to put pressure on the Crushers line, and it's paid off for them with Wire scoring. The Crushers defence not handling the pressure there, with Troy Pezzett sprinting off his line to really create the overlap.
Russell Wire, interesting player. He was with the Magpies, and I don't think Russell would mind me telling the story, but he didn't quite know whether he wanted to play rugby league or not, even given that he had a lot of ability. He played in the same under-21s as Jamie Ainscough and was rated, I would imagine, better than Ainscough 4 years ago. Now, Keith Blackett, he's hit this beautifully. So Parramatta have come back to all square. Some of their fans have made the long trek. 8 points all. 22nd minute. That was the play that saw Russell Wire in untouched.
That's a real bonus for the Eels when you look at the run of play to be back on level terms. They've done a good job because they've been under the hammer for most of this match, and there's no doubt the Crushers have been on top.
Graham Mackay is able to find touch. Chris King might have lost it there, I'm not sure, but at the end of the day, I don't know that it's going to make a great deal of difference. The Eels will come up with the football. Wire wasn't going to touch it. The Crushers have taken Prothero and Gilmeister off, and Horsnell and Crook have gone on. As Russell Wire, the try scorer, comes off the right wing and centralises play. This is Dean Pay, able to get it away. And then from Raper to Freeman and across then for Barnes. And Barnes tries to step inside Mackay. They would have played alongside one another in their Penrith days. King got a good ball off. Raper in for Dymock. Dymock across for Smith. Smith then over for McCracken. McCracken then for Wire. Wire steps and gets to the halfway before being flung down. Smith, a dummy half. This is Freeman in for Johnston. Johnston straightens, reaches the 40-metre line. 8 points all. Friday night football. They pump away on the blind side again. Jason Smith's kick fielded by Danny Peacock, and Smith goes down the park. He makes the initial tackle, which is cleaned up by McCracken and the number 14, Marty McKenzie.
Well, I reckon that's the best set of 6 Parramatta have had since about 1983. They spun the ball around, they offloaded in tackles, Pay was offloading, and they went from side to side, actually made about 60 metres. Great stuff.
We won a premiership in '86.
Yeah, but you were lucky.
No good sets of 6 in that one.
No, that's right. All year long you didn't put a good set of 6 together. Fatty remembers that. Here's Big Mackay now trying to high step his way over the 40-metre line. Chisette. Ball bouncing on the end and turning Blackett around. So Blackett 22 metres out from his own line. This is Campbell, I think. Let me have another look. Mackenzie it was. His unlimited interchanges, let me tell you, that made things a bit more difficult. Johnston. Dymock. Dymock becoming more prominent in the play as things became more urgent. Wire did well to take that, and now Dymock steps away and gets the kick down the ground. Danny Peacock comes back just beyond the 30-metre line. Let's take a sideline comment from Gary. They're right in front of him now.
Well, we just saw Terry Cook coming on for Trevor Gilmeister. That was about 3 minutes ago. Gilmeister is straight back on the field now, and it looks like Clinton O'Brien who's come off the field. So Bobby Linder's really used the interchange heaps.
So Tony Hearn plays it back for Craig Teevan, and a short ball for Gilmeister.
Yeah, that's hurt Aaron Raper. He's in some trouble. Signals straight to the bench as Gilmeister put the head into him. Rush on the left-hand side. It's pretty well read. That's the last tackle now. Aaron Raper still down on halfway. Peasant in all sorts of strife.
Eddie Ward was like us watching a game of tennis.
Yeah, this is a serious injury. Looks like you're calling now for more assistance. The stretcher.
Yeah, it could well be a break. Trevor Gilmeister made the charge. He put the head down. And Aaron Raper coming in from the side. Got some nasty contact on that left arm.
Oh, yeah. It's a nasty one.
Oh, yeah, he swung the arm straight into the head of Gilly. You don't do that too often.
Well, this kid has had no luck, has he? Aaron Raper. Long injuries. Suffered at Cronulla, and this one doesn't look good.
Well, actually, it reminds me of... I broke my arm exactly the same way with Roy Simmons back in 1986. Nothing vicious, just a little swinging arm, and broke it, snapped in half. So I hope it hasn't done the same. 4 months I was out. And with Royce's head, I was lucky he didn't disintegrate.
Okay, while they're taking Aaron off, let's take this break. It's 8 points all, the Crushers and Parramatta. Taken off on the stretcher. And we'll get an update or try and get a medical report. The tip came off a Crusher who didn't play at the ball. And he doesn't nullify the tackle count, Eddie Ward, naturally. Here's Jim Dymock combining with Russell Wire. Centre kick from Wire on the boot from McCracken. Pursued by Smith and well cleaned up there by the Crushers. Number 22, Hudson.
Oh, beautiful work by Hudson. He couldn't have got a better bounce on the end of that little movement from Parramatta. And the Crushers under some pressure now. The Eels have lifted after their try. And Hearn, oh, they're going for it, the boys. Hearn and Johnston.
Yeah, Peter Johnson came up with some great stuff there. Tony Hearn didn't like it one little bit. And I think you'll find that Hearn was the instigator there.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Good work there from Dymock again on the right-hand side of the ruck. Finding a little bit of space for Russell Wire. It was the last tackle. Put the kick through. It looked like he had support from McCracken, who again kept play going. And Jason Hudson did a tremendous job here in front of Jason Smith. And there's the tackle from Peter Johnson. Tremendous hit. Getting up. Hearn didn't like it. Yeah, he's thrown the first.
They came from all parts of the field to try and break it up or get involved.
So what's he going to do?
He's talking to Peter Johnson as though the tackle might have been high, and he's given the penalty to Tony Hearn.
They've had some luck there. There was nothing wrong with the Johnston tackle. It was a good solid ball and well hit.
Troy Campbell is the replacement player for Aaron Raper. Not too much of a problem. He did play at hooker much of the season last year. Only a back rower, but he's had some experience there as Chris King takes Hearn. He doesn't mind putting his hand up to take the ball up.
So Gilmeister now on a second man mission. Right on the halfway line, he was hit by Troy Campbell. Ooh, McKenna.
That's some good hitting out there, isn't it?
Jason Smith hit him with everything. Now they work on the blind side one more time. Played by Cook. Now Pezzett linking up with Gaffey, and Gaffey is put away. Three-man Parramatta tackle from Teven for Pezzett. High kick, it's a very good kick. They're all onside. Blackett. Oh, great take. Penalty. Penalty to the Crushers.
He's got Jim Dymock for taking out one of the Crusher chasers. You will never see a better take than the one from Keith Blackett. What a shame. The side is still going to be penalised 2 points. There's Jim Dymock, the 13, running in front. Yeah, that's a pretty good decision. He went out of his way. Spectacular work there from the Eels fullback.
So a presentation 2-pointer for Graham Mackay and South Queensland. Right in front, Jim Dymock. He left his station, if you like, to get involved in obstructing the attacking side. Certainly no complaints with the referee's ruling.
The report from the Parramatta dressing shed is that Aaron Raper dislocated his elbow. It is back in place. But there'll be no way known that you'll see Aaron Raper again out there this evening. So they will lose some creativity around the dummy half area. As Mackay will make it 3 from 4 with 8.5 minutes to go in the first half.
Crushers about to edge their way back in front. So 10 points to 8. South Queensland over Parramatta. 31 minutes gone. Tomorrow night we'll televise the Cronulla St George game from Shark Park. Sydney to air at 10 to 11. And on Sunday we go down to Campbelltown for the Broncos and Western Suburbs. The Broncos' first appearance Sunday night at Campbelltown Stadium at 6:30 in Sydney. Check your local guides. This is John Jones. You can go back a few years with John Jones. He looked like being anything. And then he suffered I think a very bad knee injury, and just set his career back somewhat.
He got an Achilles tendon injury, Rabs. It's setting back about a year and a half. He's just started to come good this season, as a matter of fact. Played some good form early in the trials.
If you know something about Achilles injuries. Gilmeister slammed away by Smith and King. Get me a tackle count on Chris King, can you, Paul?
17.
He's certainly racking up some tackles as Blackett comes away now from inside his own 20-metre zone. Didn't quite make it cleanly before being hit by Bowen. 5 is Davey, and he's flung down and put away by Graham Mackay. Monstered, I think, is the word. That is Spence in 15 for Parramatta. 10 points to 8. It's a good contest here as Jim Dymock tries to make the break, and then Gary Freeman hurdling over the top of them. Campbell. Ritson. He enters enemy territory now on the 40-metre line. Campbell. Freeman. He kicks across the park. The outside backs are onside, but the ball went straight down the ground for Danny Peacock. Freeman made the tackle underneath, and Spence over the top. 10 points to 8. The Crushers in front. Their half, Pezzett scored a try after 7 minutes. And then Russell Wire came back with a try for Parramatta after 21. Another penalty goes to the Crushers now.
Danger time now for both teams. Gary Freeman, you can see his reaction. He doesn't agree that the second tackle wasn't needed. Jason Hudson ducking the head. Matthew Spence comes in. Penalty awarded. Under 6 minutes to go in this first half. It's amazing how many points we see scored late in the half.
You mentioned Chris King's efforts in defence, and it's well documented the amount of work he does, but 17 for Parramatta. He 6, I'll correct that, he's 5 in front of his nearest rival, who just happens to be the 5'8". Never been doubted, Chris King, when it comes to defence work. And tonight is no exception. Here's a bust. Teeman's got the followers. Oh, great chain passing and support. And the Crushers, Horsnell, he gets the try. Well, that was a case of catch and pass and support. Teeman was the man.
Oh, great run by Teeman, the little hooker. He's having a big game for the Crushers tonight. There was nothing doing, really. The markers had split, though. There's a little hole there, and then some simple missed tackles. Both markers missed him. He sort of struggled through, and then the support came. And Horsnell hasn't been on that long, but he's under the sticks for the Crushers' second try.
Just a complete lack of urgency here from the Parramatta team. Campbell misses. He goes low and gets out of the tackle. Teeman. Spence Dyche from behind. Johnson misses. The support play was great. And again, that's been another area of the game that the Crushers have held the advantage over their opposition tonight. Woeful defence, and when Ron Hilditch looks at the 2 tries that Parramatta have scored against them, he'll be shaking his head because they don't come a great deal soft.
See Barry Muir sitting on the Crushers bench. His coach, Bobby Linder, retires. There's Barry Muir. He was the man that originally called New South Wales players cockroaches.
Yeah, that's a claim to fame, isn't it?
You leave our Barry alone, he's a good man.
Nobody's knocking him. You're taking offence and umbrage. We've said nothing. Anyway, it's been converted. 16 points to 8. South Queensland over Parramatta. And this is another version of the try. Campbell, he did everything bar put a lasso around Teeman. It still didn't work. Great support play, accurate passing, and a try for Horsnell.
That'll just come from lack of communication around that marker area. They both sort of stood up and said, well, where are you and where am I? And they split, and there was the hole.
That's really where your whole defence comes from, the work of the markers. If they do something wrong, it throws the whole line out. The communication between the first and second marker is the most important communication on the paddock in defence.
This has been one of the features of the Crushers' effort in the first half, their ability to bring it back from out of their own zone, brought it back with urgency and plenty of pace. That is Cook. Got a ball away. Teeman gave it quickly. Prothero's with it. Tries to bust. Tied up on the 40-metre line. Now for Mackay. Steps away from Dymock. He doesn't beat Johnston. His pass was a bit dodgy. And then it's come off a Parramatta player. And then it's gone back to Parramatta. And Eddie Ward will say play on. Well, no, he's now going to talk to his touch judge.
There's a knock-on from Peacock and then a little tiny one, I think, from McCracken. So it'll scrum probably a Parramatta feed. But a kick gone horribly wrong there for the Crushers. Is the first knock on, and then it just comes off McCracken's hand there.
It was try time with Danny Peacock hadn't got his right hand in the way to stop the kick through. Freeman goes the blind. There's nothing on there for Russell Wye, but it gives them plenty of depth and width for their second tackle.
It's just 5 metres in from the... Adam Ritson had it and lost it. Eventually it finished up with Parramatta. That's how close they are. And they've got a big back line, very deep. They've gone across to Blackett. He shows it twice. They're out wide, and Barnes throws a chancer.
I've got no idea what that was. It wasn't the last tackle as Hudson puts the step in, taken by Peter Johnson. There's the cutout pass from Blackett to Barnes. Well, that's ridiculous play.
Crushers come away from their own 20-metre line. We're in the last minute of the first half. Cook it is. Who's quite groggy. Live tonight from Suncorp Stadium. Don't forget tomorrow, we'll have that Golden Slipper Day, the Tooheys Golden Slipper Day, covered entirely from 12 noon tomorrow. Surf and turf with the Australian nationals on here on the Gold Coast, and of course you won't miss any of the racing from Rosehill Gardens as well. Magnificent version of Wide World of Sports tomorrow. As Dymock goes to ground, the half-time siren a matter of seconds away as Freeman accepts a decoy from Ritson. The ball going to ground though, just outside the 30-metre point. The siren will sound before Eddie Ward is able to pack this scrum. And that replay, in fact, was the last play of the first half. As they go to the break, the Crushers leading 2 tries to 1 and by 16 points to 8. They've handled it well. Parramatta were outplayed for the first 25 minutes. The Crushers were by far and away the better side, but then the Eels came back, and then the Crushers, just prior to half-time, with a try to Horsnell, have edged away again. 16 to 8 at half-time. We're back with Peter and Paul in just a moment.
Scrappy first 40 minutes here at Suncorp Stadium. Sees the home side, the South Queensland Crushers, leading Parramatta 16 points to 8 at the break. And statistically, well, it could be more. Everything going the Crushers' way, especially the very important one, time in possession. They've had loads of football, 18 uses compared to 14, and for the Eels to only hold the ball through to 6 tackles on 4 occasions shows they've been very poor in that department, as well as the missed tackles. 14 up against 7, 2 to 1. The Eels, well, they're probably pretty lucky to be within 8 points, Paul, but you have to say the Crushers, they've earned the lead. They've been very, very enthusiastic and very strong from the word go. They've
played some great football, haven't they, Pete? The forwards up front, Hearn, O'Brien, have run strongly. Nigel Gaffey's drifted across the field looking for support a couple of times. Peasant's had a great game at halfback, Gilmeister. They're all playing very, very well and with a lot of enthusiasm.
Ray Warren made the point that they're finding it quite easy to come out of their own danger area, quick play the balls, and you mentioned the form of Troy Peasant. He's been fairly quiet, but he showed what he could do after 7 minutes, took on Adam Ritson, and there was only going to be one winner.
He's done some good things. You've got to remember he's only a young kid in a team of a really professional football side, and he does this all on his own. What I liked about this was that once he got the initial break, he looked for support, then thought, no, I'm going to go for this on my own. He did that, did it so well, and, you know, in the first 10 minutes of the game, and he's a happy boy.
Yeah, he knows how to celebrate a try. He made the trek north from South Sydney looking for an opportunity. Bob Lindner has given him that up here in Brisbane. It was important that the Eels did bounce back. They did that. A beautiful executed move on the blind side of the ruck. I think it's joyous watching these kind of things come off.
Of course, and shades of Jim Dymock at his best. He's been probably their best player tonight. Very classy, and this is what he's capable of. You know, he just summed it up nicely. Had a couple of options there and took the correct option with Wire out wide. And the Crushers' defence, that's something they'll have to learn about. Off their own line, they really... Peasant sprinted off and created overlap for his the outside men.
Now, unfortunately for the Eels, Brett Horsnell was able to score within that final 5 minutes of the first half. The next 5 or 10 minutes in the second half is also very important. As we made the point during the commentary, amazing amount of points are scored in those periods. So really Parramatta have got to come out and start like the Crushers started the game.
Exactly. The Crushers started running very hard right from the outset. Now, if the Crushers were to score in the first 10 minutes, Parramatta, you know, their tails might be right back and they'd probably get beaten. So they need a really good first 10 minutes of the Eels if they're going to win the match. Yeah,
I'm sure Ron Hillich is having plenty to say in the sheds at the moment. They're down 16 points to 8. This weekend, of course, the Commonwealth Bank Cup continues, and it's an all-Queensland affair from Suncorp with Mansfield State High up against McGregor State High. That's tomorrow at 12 noon. Check your local guides. And from this match, we've chosen this as our Coca-Cola Junior Play of the Week.
Couple of tackles to go. Well, they won't stop him, will they? They will. He's able to pass, though, to Rhodes. Rhodes with that step again. Pass to and dives over. We're looking at a very classy young footballer, this bloke Luke Rhodes, and that is his second try for the match.
Yeah, great sponsors, Coca-Cola, and we welcome their involvement once again at the Commonwealth Bank Cup level, and the schoolboy football just gets better and better. As we mentioned at the top of the show, a lot of football again this weekend, and tomorrow night the local derby from Shark Park, Cronulla up against St George, will be covering a full coverage of that match, going to air at 10:50 p.m. And on Sunday, a real battle at Campbelltown with Western Suburbs up against Brisbane. The Maggies so impressive against Illawarra last Friday night. The highlights of that match at 6:30 p.m.
Welcome back to Suncorp Stadium. The Crushers coming out for the second half. They lead by 8 points, 16-8. 2 tries to 1 in the first half. And Pezzett and Horsnell got them for the Crushers. Wire for Parramatta. And there's the tackles for the Crushers. And they've shared that workload, the top 6 in the forwards for the Crushers. Gaffey, O'Brien, Tevan and Hearn, Gilmeister and Prothero. They've shared it around. The hit-ups, well, Gaffey's done exceptionally well.
And for the Eels, of course, Chris King, we mentioned 17 tackles, but Peter Johnson, look at his work rate, 15 tackles, and leads the charge with 8 hit-ups. So he's having a great game, and Jim Dymock, a lot of quality stuff there. Adam Ritson, of course, he wasn't on the park for the whole 40 minutes, but his work rate's pretty good.
Parramatta comes back. Just when they looked like they'd stopped the dam from leaking, the gap opened again. 21 is Fawcett. And he, of course, was a good purchase for Parramatta last year. Jarrod McCracken has been in a bit of trouble with Eddie Ward on 2 occasions. Still very much anybody's game, this one. It's fair to say for a longer part of the game, the Crushers have been the better. 16-8 they lead. They carry it into the second half now as we bring you Friday Night Football live tonight from Brisbane, and Dymock it is that sends Ritson charging back to them. Good strong run by Adam Ritson to get them away with their second half. This is Campbell. Repeating, Aaron Raper dislocated an elbow. And there were fears held for something even worse than that. Johnston now. Spence steps off his left foot and goes back. To be held just on the halfway line. Freeman. Dymock. Able to unload. Freeman supports and goes off to the right. Gets a decoy from McCracken. They try to channel Wire back in. He's tackled on the 40-metre line on 5. Now Campbell. Kick for Jason Smith. High and across the park. And allowed to bounce by the Crushers, and then it goes into touch. So this will be a turnover. And Gary Belcher on the sidelines. An opportune time to bring him in again.
Yeah, half-time reports, Ray. Ron Hilditch from Parramatta. He's 3 major concerns. Their ball control, their defence close to the ruck, but the biggest one is injuries. Of course, Aaron Raper's elbow problem. Dean Pay's groin surgery in the off-season. That seems to have flared again. I doubt he'll be back. And Nathan Barnes has a hamstring problem. He's been replaced by Vince Fawcett. Bobby Lindner, well, he wants more protection for his kickers. I think that was obvious. The kicking game's been ordinary. More market pressure from the markers on Gary Freeman. He's really happy with the 80% ball control. His side is controlling the ball very well.
Gary Belcher on the sidelines tonight as the Crushers come up with the penalty.
Gary Freeman's just got to walk away from this. I know he's the captain. He's starting to get offside too often with the referee Eddie Ward, and it's not something that will be good for his side. Just means the referee will watch that area even more closely as Tony Hearn, Jim Dymock just in his own half. Gilmeister now takes the second ruck to the halfway line.
So Cook got involved and Gaffey is through. Gaffey galloping down the sideline on the far side of the ground. That's the 20-metre line behind him. 16-8, 2.5 minutes gone, second half. Wide and deep to the right, they come that way. To ground, and Mackay has to go back for it. 40-metre line now. Hearn. Prothero. Proved hard to pull down a couple of times. The last. Pezzett. Freeman waited for it, got the bounce, turns defence around, and then driven into the ground. Freeman trying to fish a penalty out of that. 21 has forced it. Gilmeister over the top. Cook underneath. Campbell the dummy half. King. Got it away. McCracken supported. McKenna the tackler. Halfway line. Coming up now. Dymock. Pushing it on for Fawcett. Smith. Dymock. Decoy runner and then the kick to the open space for Russ Wire. Got it miraculously. Got the pass in for McCracken. Brushes away one. Loses the footing. Gets up. Goes again and puts it down. That's a miracle try. Well, persistence from McCracken. And what a take by Wire.
Well, they've scored two cracking tries, haven't they, the Eels tonight? One from short distance. This time, the vision of Jim Dymock as he gets the ball. Freeze play now. These are the widest players for the Crushers. There's a heap of open space, and Russell Wire gets a good chase in. He's the widest man for the Eels, obviously. It turns around Lawson. The one-handed take from Russell Wire. Good strength, gets the ball back. Great support and a good take from Jarrod McCracken. Straight over the top of Peacock. Gets up again. Shrewd Nigel Gaffey. Bad defence from the Crushers, but good determination from all the Eels involved.
Yeah, well done by the Eels, but before that we'd seen a nice ball from Chris King to McCracken, got them down the park, and this is a case of just too many missed tackles. They had 23 chances to stop this try. The Crushers, there's another one there, and still going McCracken. Great determination. They're back in the hunt.
Yeah, they were grabbing and snatching, weren't they? The Crushers needed a strong, purposeful tackle on a big man like McCracken. He'll sweep you away if you don't take him ball and all, and with a fair bit of purpose.
Jarrod McCracken needed something like that. When Nigel Gaffey made the bust too many moments ago, he was the man that missed the tackle. So it turned around completely. That time Gaffey is the recipient.
Blocker in the background. What's he doing over there? Here's Blackett now. 25 out. Doesn't look bad, but it's just across the face. 16-12, the Crushers over the Eels. Back at Suncorp, and the Crushers 16-12. 16-8 at the break. Here we are now, some 7 minutes into the second half. Parramatta all night have been playing catch-ups, but they have made steady meters down that right flank where Russell Wire is on the wing.
And 6 again for the Eels is a stroke of good luck.
Freeman is with it. 40-metre line behind them. Chris King told to play it. Now Campbell puts his hand up. 25 metres out from the line. Freeman. Ritson goes decoy. No, he doesn't. He's the ball carrier. Ritson not happy about something that happened in the tackle.
It was a strong tackle by Gilmeister. Would have been a touch over. The referee at that stage was prepared to let it go on. And then something else has happened to make Eddie Ward come in. This is the tackle on Ritson. It's right around the neck. And Ritson argued the toss with Gilmeister and swung on at him with the penalty. And, well, it goes to the Crushers.
Well, anything close has gone against the Eels tonight. I think that's a fair enough statement. There's been a couple of occasions where we've looked at the replay, thought that it would go one way and it's gone the other.
You repeat, discipline when in possession of the football. You shouldn't do silly things like Ritson did there, like Tony Hearn did before.
Penalty count speaks for itself. It's 8-4 against the Eels. They're with it though. McCracken put a fend on. It's come down to Russell Wire, but it came off one of the Crushers. But I doubt that he touched it with his hands. Let's have a look at it.
The referee's got it right here. Russell Wire knocks on. McCracken put him under all sorts of pressure. Ball goes up, came off the Crusher's head.
That's right. No knock on Prothero. Eddie Ward's decision here, spot on. He's had some tight decisions to make tonight.
A good advantage played there by Eddie Ward. They were a mile inside the back line. Parramatta back line. Quick tap taken by Mackay. He can feel as though there's a bit of momentum building for his team. Finds Hudson. It's the first tackle, 42 metres out. Very important stage of the match.
Parramatta's got to remain firm around the play the ball. That's where most of the gaps have presented themselves. Horsnell is to play it. Hearn has taken it ahead. Rounded up by Spence. And took a speculator. It's with Parramatta. 32 metres out from their own line. Johnston. Good metres. 16 is Campbell. Chris King. Just over the halfway. Now for Spence, he leaves it behind. Smith. 10 metres into Crush's territory. Spence again. Now Parramatta gets this penalty against the Crushers in the tackle. 50th minute of the game about to come up.
They thought long and hard about kicking for touch there. In the end, Captain Gary Freeman opts for the possible 2 points. It's not a particularly difficult kick. Spencer's played well since coming on for Dean Pay. And that was a bad penalty for the Crushers. There's no good ones. That one was late in the tackle count.
Gives me a chance to again remind you of that tremendous day of entertainment tomorrow on Wide World of Sports. The Tui's Golden Slipper in its entirety from Rosehill Gardens. And, of course, the Australian Nationals here on the Gold Coast. So it's from the waves, from the surf to the turf. John Tapp will call the slipper. He'll call all races. It'll be a great battle. Lee Freeman going for his 4th Golden Slipper. And free beer for life if he does it. Now Blackett. It's only just got the length. It went very high. I don't know that he was entirely happy, but he's narrowed the break. 16-14. 10 minutes gone, second half. Of course, on Sunday, the Wide World of Sports cameras will stay with the surf titles on the Gold Coast. 22 metres out from the Parramatta line, and we've got a tight one. Johnston. That is King.
Still a lot of one-out work from the Parramatta side. And you've got to show the necessary respect for the ball carrier. Expect him to be able to get his arms free, and not just let him up on his own. It's Campbell on the blind side. He's done well since coming on for Aaron Raper. It's the last tackle now, just in the Crushers' territory.
McKenzie is in 14. They go wide. Dymock goes across to that wing with Wire. Again making yards.
Well, they've used him up many times, haven't they, Russell Wire, and he hasn't let them down yet. He's had a really good game out there. He's got a beautiful right foot step.
Pass from Dymock is absolutely precise. And every time they go down that side of the ground, Russell Wire has contributed something.
Well, he's the man, Jim Dymock. Wire's capitalised a few times, but Dymock, they've just got to trail him all day. Prothero now takes it to halfway. Maybe looking for Graham Mackay to start getting involved once again. Had a strong start to this match. Just drifted out of a little bit. Gaffey onto Peacock. He's a match winner. Good tackle from Spence. Last tackle.
Peasant. Well read by Jason Smith. Bounces away from one tackle, taken by Grant Young. Big hitter in the Crushers lineup is Young. Freeman across. McCracken tries to go through the gap. 54th minute coming up. 2 points in it. Driving tackle. From the player we're just talking about, Grant Young. Oh, and he's behind that tackle with some help from O'Brien. Freeman. Peacock. Ray from his own line. And beyond the 20. Young and O'Brien are on for the Crushers. Hearn and Gilmeister are back on the bench. Unlimited interchange. Use 4 players. 4 fresh players, if you like. And use those players as many times as you like. Teevan, he's busted them again. Blackett rounding him up this time, but Teevan has been slippery away from dummy half. Back on the 40-metre line. Gaffey. And then for Mackay. Gaffey again. Blackett.
Well, it was a strange kick, really. It was just nothing much on that one. It wasn't high enough. And no chases. A bit of a wasted opportunity there on the 5th tackle. As Parramatta now do the hard way through Johnson. Oh, to a lunch.
That's that bloke again, Grant Young. Go down to the sidelines, Gary Belcher.
I'd like to see Grant Young out there at the start of the game, softening him up. Look, I think Parramatta could be in a bit of trouble as far as replacements go. Of course, Nathan Barnes, Dean Payne, Aaron Raper, we've all mentioned, they're out of the game. So really, they've only got the one player on the interchange. I think it's Marty McKenzie at the moment. See a penalty there for the Crushers.
What's the problem with Dean Pay? Have you been able to clarify that?
Well, apparently it's the groin surgery he had in the off-season. He's got a flare-up in that area, so there's doubt that he'll be back in the game now, and they're pretty concerned about his immediate playing future.
What about Barnes?
Barnes, a hamstring problem. So he's gone virtually for the game, or just about certainly for the game, and no doubt Aaron Raper, we won't see him for weeks.
Nice start. So the Crushers, can they deliver the knockout blow? It was played then by Lawson. This is O'Brien. O'Brien just inside the 10-metre line. A chance for the Crushers. Pezzett holds it back, bumps away from Johnston, pulled down by McKenzie. Centre of the park. Now Teevan. Spence goes over the top. Now Pezzett again. Infield from Gaffey, and the 16, Jones, takes it to ground on 5. Pezzett again. Puts one into the end goal. Parramatta's got away with it.
There was a pretty good kick there. Very difficult take for Scott Davey. He wasn't able to come up with it. It went loose. There were plenty of Crusher chasers. Let's have a look. He's actually lost footing there. Fortunately for the Eels, Pete Blackett was able to get his body in the right position. Line drop out, so the pressure is maintained.
The Eels surviving enormous pressure at the moment. But this wave of attack is about to come back at them. O'Brien made it back to the 30-metre line. Pezzett. Young. King underneath. Johnston up the top. Gaffey. Now they come across for Jones. Cook is off, Jones is on. Half back is swamped on tackle number 5 after losing his footing. He can't get up. Troy Pezzett scored that first try. Brilliant individual performance. Gone down under the tackle of Chris King. Can't get up from.
This is a very gutsy effort by Parramatta, no matter what anyone says. You know, there's all those injuries they've got, and they've held out the Crushers now for the 12 tackles. Good defensive line by them. And Chris King working overtime now with 20-odd tackles, and they've all lifted. Johnston, he's had a big game, Peter Johnston.
In these situations, it's where the likes of the Gary Freemans, the Dymmocks, the Jason Smiths, for the Queensland, South Queensland team, Nigel Gaffey, Ray Mackay, the players who've been around for a long time, Trevor Gilmeister, of course, they've got to take some control out there. And that's not the way to do it. Ray Mackay, a simple knock on there. The Eels, an enormous sigh of relief.
Graham Mackay knows how Jason Smith feels now. That has taken the pressure valve off for Parramatta. As Ritson works it towards the halfway line. Now for Campbell. And this is Johnston over the halfway line. Freeman calling it, pushing it back in. McKenzie, offload, Blackett combined. This is Campbell. Throws it in the air and hopes for the best. It's down with Blackett. The knock-on has been called. Well, my goodness. They've done a couple of stupid things in this match, Parramatta. Plenty of time at their disposal. There's no need for panic football.
That was a shame, that, because it was a good movement involving 4 or 5 sets of hands, and it's again the last pass, which didn't have to be thrown, although in saying that, it was just a strong tackle by Pezzett, I felt, which forced the ball loose.
Just on 20 minutes of time remaining. As young Pezzett is now brought from the field. And it is Terry Cook going back on in 17.
And Craig Teaven, a former halfback, now playing hooker, moves back to the old role of halfback to feed the scrum.
And Nigel Gaffey goes to 5'8". He's with the ball now. 30 metres away from their own line. The Crushers leading by 2 points. Mackay. This is O'Brien. Short pass for Jones. Good quick passing. They've reached the end of the line. Lawson pulled down. Well read, Gary Freeman. Here they come with Gaffey again. 20-metre line. 5 tackles gone for the Crushers. Out to Teaven. They go to the air. Fawcett got underneath it and came down with it.
That was magnificent work from the Crushers. Beautiful drawing, passing, quick hands. There was only some copybook cover defence from Gary Freeman on a flying Scott Lawson that saved the day. Good ball from both teams as Chris King again takes the ball outside his 20-metre line.
Teaven around the legs. So the Eels come away from the 30-metre line now. Up and down the ground. Very much the case of the second half. Oh! Ritson picked off by Young. He's really peeled off some big tackles. Freeman. Peacock. Quickly away from the 30 and down to the 40. He brought it back with great urgency, Danny Peacock. Cook is the dummy half. Hudson is with it. And he's 5 metres from the halfway. Penalty goes to Parramatta. He's claiming that there was a marker there.
which means you must release the football.
It's a shame that was a great finish. You just get the feeling that the next team to score points just about go on and win this. Blackett finds touch 31 metres out. With just the good fortune that the Eels need. Peter Johnson, who's been outstanding for them, takes in with 3 defenders. Dymock coming to the blind side.
So then, Ritson juggling it back in. A doubt that the pass was meant for him. Freeman into Smith. Gets a call from Fawcett. Fawcett to the 20-metre line. They back up. They go inside. Ritson to the 10-metre line. Parramatta now, the choice of either way. Freeman, Dymock, quick hands. Oh, Davey gave a pass, or did he?
Yeah, he gave a pass, and again, no reason to throw the pass. Not the last tackle. Great defence. Not for the first time, the Eels in good position, just give the football away.
Back on the Crushers' 10-metre line.
And put down by Hudson. A chance. It's a try. Fawcett. Fawcett scores for Parramatta. Well, Jason Hudson has made the mistake, and Parramatta have swooped on 4 points.
Gee, they arrived quickly, the Eels. I want to have a look at the replay as to when they started moving up. Scrum win is now got up very quickly. It was Jason Smith leading the way and Vince Fawcett putting the head down to go between Nigel Gaffey and Graham Mackay.
Yes, if you're a Crusher supporter, a tragic mistake made here. But he was under a great deal of pressure, wasn't he, by Jason Smith, Hudson, and couldn't handle it. The ball went loose and Fawcett, the man on the spot. So the Eels, they hit the front.
Seen some perfect examples tonight of players taking their eyes off the football, looking at what was coming at them. That time it was Jason Hudson. Jason Smith a couple of times in the first half. Graham Mackay at the end of 5 tackles not long ago. Really just cannot afford to come up with those mistakes in the top grade.
So Keith Blackett will almost certainly convert and take the Eels to a 4-point lead. 18-16. 12 metres out. Oops, he's only just got it. 20 points to 16 as we take a break.
Old West.
And the timepiece, 16 minutes left. And Parramatta, for the first time in the match, in front at 20 points to 16. Dymock inspiring a raid to the halfway line. Campbell is the dummy half. Freeman is with it now. They go across, and Jason Smith 40 metres out from the Crushers line. Freeman driving his troops. 5 tackles gone. Will they go to the air? Freeman, he does that. High and back across. And Peacock goes up and then is swamped by the oncoming attack. Now this is Lawson from the left wing. Sideline comment from Gary.
Troy Pessett's getting ready to come back onto the Crushers. They need him out there too. Craig Teeman must go back to dummy half to get the forwards moving forward. And look, more injury problems for Parramatta. Vince Fawcett hurt his wrist during that move.
Here they are, the Crushers. Down the sideline they go. Prothero centre kicks. Didn't get a clean shot at it. Davey cleans it up for Parramatta. In fact, it's Blackett. 15 out from their own line. That hurt. This was Prothero down the right flank. And had he have got a sweet kick on that, it might have had a different ending.
Jason Smith may have been hurt in this tackle, but it's been exactly what the doctor ordered for Parramatta, an opportunity to regather, suck the big ones in. Graham Mackay, pretty high shot around the head of Jason Smith, so he had every right to stay down. It helped his team. Chris King now in those centre field. Adam Ritson lining up, but Campbell out of dummy half again. The market defence from both teams has been atrocious tonight.
Jason Smith, you worry, don't you, when players would have had a notorious head clash or whatever. Ian Roberts got Jason in that state of origin in Melbourne. And you worry more about those sort of players. His brother took an awful knock one night at Belmore, I remember, against Cronulla. So both the Smiths have had some very heavy knocks on the head. Darren, the other fellow. Now we watch a scrum prepare to go down. 12 minutes to go. 20 points to 16. Parramatta's in front. Wouldn't Rugby League love to see the blue and golds going well? Lawson. Pezzett back on. He got himself offside, Gaffey. And he's penalised. He's penalised rather than putting the scrum down.
Well, it was just a blatant forward pass. I can't believe he actually threw it. That's the inexperience coming out as Spence takes a break. The Blackett, no doubt, will come up and have a shot for goal, give him the 6-point buffer.
This crowd, incidentally, just upwards of 12,000 tonight. It was a very ordinary crowd at 6:30, and it basically doubled in the hour leading up to kick-off.
You would probably think it's going to take a little while for the crowds to pick up after the dilemma the game has gone through. Games like this will help. Exciting, a lot of mistakes, but the closeness of the scores really made it very exciting. Still anybody's match with just over 10 minutes to go. Keith Blackett can go a long way towards securing a victory here if he can put his team a converted try in front with this kick.
Well, if he kicks this, it'll be hard to see them going away with anything less than 1 point. Good striker of the ball. He's had a pretty good game tonight too. Keith Blackett, and he's missed it. So he sends it dead. We'll take this break and be back in just a moment. As you come back, you've not missed anything except Russell Wire has taken a heavy knock. Trevor Gilmeister made the tackle, and Russell Wire has been motionless face down. Meister's tackle seemed to come down, and he certainly got him above the shoulders. There's been no indication from the referee that there'll be any warning or penalty.
Well, I think Gilly, when he hit him, he looked up and sort of had an oh no look on his face, but it's got over all right. This has been a pretty high quality match this one. I believe both these teams can figure in top 8 prospects with the playing staff they do have. It's been a pretty good game.
Yeah, Gilmeister, that slow-mo showed as he made the hit, his eyes went straight towards the referee. Trevor knew that he'd got him high, and Russell Wire being walked from the ground rather than accepting the ride on the stretcher. So the ball has been given to another of the Parramatta players to play the ball. And Tony Hearn waits to come on again. Brett Horsnell, one of the try scorers, comes off. And slowly but surely, Russell Wire comes to the sidelines. Vince Fawcett goes back on. So Parramatta now, Gary Belcher, There's nothing left.
Well, they've been forced to bring Nathan Barnes back on, who's got that left hamstring problem. He's been stretching it. I'm not sure that he can go full pace. He felt a twinge earlier, and he requested that he shouldn't come back on. But, well, I guess if you need to use them, better have someone out there than no one.
Good run by Campbell. They're coming down the left to support him. Campbell's pulled down a metre out from the line. A chance for Parramatta to wrap it up here. They've lost it. And the Crushers come away with it. Not only did they lose it, they didn't clean it up. Now the Crushers. Oh, good tackle. Johnston on Peacock.
Nathan Barnes has only just gone back on, and he took an eternity to throw the pass from dummy half. It wasn't delivered in the end, and now Prothero takes it 32 out centre field. Crushers realise that this game is there for the taking. There's Johnson slipping off a tackle. Grant Young has come up with some big ones. He's the man with the football now.
So Pezzett, then McKenna, and the ball deflected away. 6 more tackles. The Crushers within 3 metres of the halfway line. Determined they are. And here they come with Hearn just into Parramatta's area.
Well, I can't believe if both Vince Fawcett and Nathan Barnes are injured, they're both on the same side of the field. And here they are now in defence. That's Barnes coming up with the tackle on Prothero. I would have thought it would have been better to split them if they have got injury problems.
Hudson. In and away from Pezzett. Across from Young. Into Gaffey. Gaffey put down by McCracken. A quick play the ball. Mackay. A kick and a chase, and was he taken out of it? Penalty where the ball landed. So they will take the kick. The tap, I mean. Freeman getting his troops back. Pezzett. Now from Gilmeister, then from Hearn, then to Hudson, back to Hearn, and Hearn picked off by Spence.
Oh, what a tackle by Spence.
15 out from the line, but the Crushers, they got personnel out to the left. Now they go across to Gilmeister. He turns Young back on the inside, and Young will play it 5 metres out from the line. Still they beg for the ball on the left from Teevan. It's going to Pezzett. Away now to Gaffey. Mackay stands. Nearly gets away from the tackle. 2 metres out. The Crushers, they're coming home strong. Pezzett, he chances a speculator. Mackay is with it. He's put away. Tackle by Smith. 10 metres out from the line. Now Gilmeister again. This is Tony Hearn. And a good tackle by Spence again. 5 tackles gone. Teevan into the arms of Pezzett. He rolls it in. He'll get the bounce. And I think he may give it. He's going to give it. Yes. It's a try. Troy Pezzett scores his second try.
Well, Pezzett, he's very quick off the mark. The little kick in. It looked like it was covered by Keith Blackett, but somehow the bounce eluded him. They've done a great job, the Eels, to keep them out. And on the last, Pezzett, the little one in behind the line, back towards the posts. It's bouncing around, and the Eels have gone the other side of the goalpost.
Well, they must have taken the wrong bounce right at the death, because Blackett's going to the other side of the goalpost. He's missed the ball completely. Comes, hits the post. They've had no luck, and does he? Oh, that's no try. I don't think he's grounded that, Raps. Has he forced this one?
Well, my opinion counts for nothing, because you've been castigating us for 7 days the last time I had a comment to make. Let's have a look for downward pressure. Looks to me like there might have been a little...
There's no try.
A little bounce of the ball there.
He's knocked on before the downward pressure.
Eddie Ward looked long and hard at his in-goal judge before he gave the try, and the in-goal judge was prepared to say yes. So Graham Mackay from right in front with this kick will more than likely win the game. 22 points to 20. The Crushers in front again. Now let's have a look at the angle Eddie Ward has had on this. Eddie Ward, he couldn't have had much better view of it.
You see, I don't understand that, why Eddie Ward had to look to his touch judge to get a decision. Eddie Ward has seen that, so he is obviously, maybe he thinks it was a try.
And that takes us back to the missed kick from Keith Black at 32 metres out in front of the post, which would have given a 6-point lead to the Eels. It's been a big miss now.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Eels aren't out of it. Let me tell you, the commitment they've shown tonight has been outstanding. And some of these players like Chris Keane, Peter Johnson, this new bloke, Matthew Spence, they've been great.
This is Nigel Gaffey. They look very much like they're coming downhill, the Crushers. They've stayed healthier than Parramatta tonight. The Eels have got a couple of players out there we know for sure that shouldn't be there, but they've just run out of numbers. Mackay's kick out on the full. Here's a chance for Parramatta now. So Graham Mackay trying to tear his hair out, but he's wasting his time. The Eels now. It's King. Driven back by Pezzett. Young underneath. Campbell, a dummy half. Ritson is with it. Now Blackett. Blackett trying to get through the gap. Gary Freeman launches an attack. Fawcett comes in. Davey goes down the wing. Gets a pass infield, but it's forward. 2 passes ago. We come right back to the halfway line.
Let off for the Crushers. They were short down that blind side. This pass here, and a good decision. Touch judge won that one.
And if it wasn't forward, the one that he's ruled on, certainly the last one was. The difference about 20 metres. Troy Pezzett works the scrum. 5 metres his side of the halfway. Gaffey's done a good job tonight. He's tackled right on the halfway line. Teevan now, and Gilmeister. Gilmeister's working it right home tonight. He's playing as though he's the 5'8" at the moment. Needless to say, the fat man is smiling. Gaffey. Sterlo, he's had the money spent twice. Grant Young. You're all right, Smith. Don't worry, son. Now, the shot for drop goal from Mackay. Watch the bounce. Oh, they've had to force it. Perry Cook and Jason Hudson.
That was lucky for the Crushers. That was just no need to do that by the Crushers. They needed to put the ball in the in goal anyway, but no reason to go for a drop kick. 23-20 is not going to make much difference. They've just got to keep pressure on the Parramatta line.
Yeah, 2 poor decisions there. Firstly, to take the field goal attempt, and secondly, from the 2 Parramatta players to allow it to bounce.
Wow, that's a great take by Terry Cook. He just contested the chase, and there he is now, coming down with the shallow restart from Parramatta. Graham Mackay tries to run through the wall. He's pulled down 9 metres away from the line. Hearn wants it.
Very strong again tonight, Tony Hearn. 3 metres out.
35 seconds left on the clock. Cross now for Gilmeister, and he knows there's no need to pass. 2 points in front. Parramatta's 90 metres away from the line, and Cook and Gilmeister have together shut it down.
The smart play now is just a little one into the in-goal area. The field goal is not the option.
They take the option, and they succeed. Did they? No, he's waved it away.
And all it's done is give possession away. If it had been successful, they'd have come down the other end of the field.
So now a penalty has been given. The siren has sounded, but he's penalised Gary Freeman for the manner in which he took the 20-metre tap.
They're saying he didn't release the football. A little bit of nitpicking there. If you pull those up during games, you'll be blowing the whistle plenty of times in 80 minutes.
Well, it's been a great game of football, I know that. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and the Crushers deserving winners. There it is there. The rule says he must release the ball, and Wood says he didn't. They've had some very fine players, led well by Gilmeister. Tony Hearns had a big game when he's been on the field. Grant Young, some big hits. Prothero, a couple of early breaks. Craig Teven's been very, very busy around the rucks.
Graham Mackay there. Played a big role. 5 from 6. He's been cast back into the goal-kicking role. He makes it 6 from 7 in the final score. The Crushers 24, Parramatta 20. 24 to 20, the Crushers. And the halfback Pezzett scored 2 tries. Horsnell got the other. And Mackay was 6 out of 7. For Parramatta, Russell Wire, McCracken and Fawcett tries. Blackett 4 from 5. The penalty count is interesting. 12-7. The Crushers over Parramatta in the penalty division. And the final score 24 to 20. The Optus man of the match and other details coming to you shortly. And that man of the match decision, of course, will be an interesting one arrived at by Peter, Paul and Gary. And we'll have that for you together with the summation of tonight's game on the other side of this break. Here it is now, a break, and then we're back to Suncorp Stadium.
South Queensland Crushers here in their first Friday night game at the Suncorp Stadium, defeating Parramatta 24 points to 20. And this is the score breakdown for the Crushers. Troy Pezzett, their little halfback, got 2. Brett Horsnell, a try. Graham Mackay, 6 from 7. While for the Eels, Wire, McCracken and Fawcett scored tries. Keith Blackett, 4 from 6. And a great game of football, highly exciting. Plenty of heroes for the home side. And the man we chose the best for the Crushers tonight is now with Gary Belcher.
There's the $1,000 Optus man of the match. Craig Teven is with us now. Craig, congratulations. What a comeback under pressure.
Yeah, it was. We hung in there really well. I mean, this time last year we may not have done that, but to our credit, it's our first game for a while, and we just did the basic things, and they all paid off.
I suppose it's a big relief just to get back on the field after all the drama, but to come away with a win for your fans, that is big.
Yeah, really big effort today. You know, I mean, we couldn't ask for anything more. We got the 2 points, and everyone's back playing football, so we're all happy.
Now, a lot of the new names made a big difference, but what about the halfback, Troy Pezzett? Really, the game breaker. He scored the first try, scored the last, and then, well, he just led from the front.
Yeah, he's very sharp, Pezzy. I mean, he's only a young kid, but he's very mature in the head, and we're looking for big things from him this year.
Well, congratulations again on your own performance, and good luck for the rest of the year. Thanks, Craig.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Optus, Channel 9. Thank you.
Yeah, tremendous performance from Craig Teven, one of your heroes from State of Origin last year. His work around dummy half was very good tonight, and it got the side rolling.
That's right, he was very instrumental in their win tonight, Craig. He did a lot of good tackling around the rucks. He ran from dummy half. Remember, he created a try, and all-round good performance by him. But I thought the Crushers played pretty well tonight. Nigel Gaffey really impressed me. He's found a new home here in Brisbane after playing at Canberra and then East, and he is set for a big year. But I must also give Parramatta a rap. I thought they played very well tonight. Were very, very committed for the whole 80 minutes.
I guess in your career, one of the things that really stays in your mind is your debut. And tonight, Troy Pezzett, he was successful in getting across the line twice. He found his way around the park. It was a really good game for him first up, and he too now joins Gary Belcher after his first grade match.
Well, Troy Pezzett, the halfback for the Crushers, what a dream debut.
Mate, yeah, you've got to be happy with that, haven't you? 2 tries on debut, and anyway, I'm stoked.
Well, it really looked like you were leading him around the field. In fact, you remind me a lot of Gary Freeman, who's on the other side. You're just yelling at the troops the whole way, leading, chasing, everything.
Yeah, well, if they don't go forward, then I get in trouble because, you know, then I get bashed up and I don't get to go forward. So, mate, that's my job. That's what Bob's sent me out there to do. So, just glad I could do it tonight.
Now, I believe you had an interesting phone call from someone this morning.
Oh, yeah, mate, Blocker and the kids. G'day at home. They rang me this morning and wished me good luck, and that was great. And Kath, and they sent me a fax today, which really helped. So, thanks a lot.
I'm sure he's proud of you. Well done again, Troy, and I'm sure you're going to have a big one for the rest of the year.
A game that will definitely stay in young Troy Pezzett's minds for many years to come. 2 tries on debut, and it was made a little bit sweeter by the fact his team did get the points, 24 points to 20 over Parramatta. We'll take a break now, be back to the Suncorp Stadium with footy tab results and to wrap up Friday night football. 1,000 fans here at Suncorp Stadium tonight to see the South Queensland Crushers defeat Parramatta 24 points to 20. Pretty much an even money bet going into this game, and Footy Tab quite a good dividend for Pick the Score, not $309.95. And tomorrow night our cameras are out to Shark Park, the Cronulla up against St George. That's at 10:50 p.m, but check your local guides. And on Sunday, more football from the Campbelltown Sports Ground, Western Suburbs up against Brisbane. The highlights of that match at 6:30 p.m. And Paul, some good games coming up there. Two matches you would think would have plenty of feeling.
They will do, Pete, but the first hit out for a lot of those sides, including Brisbane, of course, Cronulla and St George. For a long time, Cronulla and Brisbane haven't played for over a month. Saints haven't played for a few weeks, so there'll be some bit rusty out there for both sides. But on form, well, probably last year's form, you'd probably think Cronulla might get away with the game tomorrow night. And West will be very hard to beat on Sunday. Let me tell you, out there at Campbelltown, the Broncos will know they've been in the game, but just class-wise, you might think Brisbane could win that.
Yeah, well, tonight it was a good win to the South Queensland Crushers, 24 points to 20. Good way to start off round 2 of the Optus Cup. Don't forget tomorrow from Rosehill Gardens, racing all day featuring the Golden Slipper. But for now, on behalf of the entire Wide World of Sports Rugby League crew from Brisbane, it's bye for now.
This has been another presentation of Nine's Wide World of Sports.